line.
Kimmich.
AWB is a fullback because all of his highlight plays come from behind the back line.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
So then, we don't have Dallo. Dallo's a wingback.
Dallo would be the perfect wingback to have.
Absolutely,
right
yeah.
Because he can play left or right.
Well, that's what Milan are playing. That's what Theo Hernandez is at Milan.
Yeah.
He's a wingback, and he and Dallo have been killing. They've been scoring goals coming from wingback. Van Aanholt is a wingback.
Van Aanholt is a perfect wingback.
Yeah, I mean, but
Andy Robertson, though, I'd say he can play both. He can play wingback and he can play fullback.
Yeah.
Same with Digne from Everton. I think he'd be better at wingback, but I think he could play fullback.
I see. Yeah. But I think at his core, he's like your old age left mid. Like you're just whipping him in from the side guy. Because I haven't seen him. I haven't seen a lot of his defensive plays just because his offensive plays outshine his defensive plays. And I see what you're saying as a wingback, but I don't know if he can stand alone as a fullback even.
I mean,
I don't know because I've never watched him for real.
He does it sometimes for Everton, but I mean, he's definitely more of a wingback than he is a fullback. I completely agree with that.
But it's a very particular position. Saka's not a wingback.
It's kind of weird who, when I first started watching soccer, 4-4-2 was like what everyone did.
Yeah. And
then it transferred into 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, and now it's kind of going into like a 5-back or a 3-5-1.
I think it all branches out from the 4-4. Like there's through every era of football, there's like a base formation.
Yeah. And
then from that formation, other ones are made. Like so, for instance, like the Cantona in a 4-4-2, playing a 10 pivot.
Yeah.
Like that comes from it was 4-4-2 on paper, but Fergie was just saying drop in a little bit. You know what I mean? And so then that becomes a 4-4-1-1.
Which is kind of what he did with Rooney and Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy was the striker.
They kind of invented that role right
there.
And then the Dutch invented the winger system, playing just
wingers,
an outside man that doesn't have to come back.
I think that was the start of that was Mourinho at Chelsea when he had Robin on the right and Joe Cole on the left, and Drogba up top.
Yes, because they're wingers. They weren't outside mids. And you could look at Robin and Joe Cole and be like, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
Let's leave them up there. Drogba could drop into the midfield, and he did.
Yeah.
So that was a traditional 4-3-3. For sure.
And then to counter, and then obviously Barcelona did their thing where they had a midfield of Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta, and then they had Messi on the right, and then they would have Eto'o on the left and Henry or Ibra up top, from what I can remember. From that season that they were godly.
And see, Ibra was being asked to play right, and this is kind of what I'm saying, is that Ibra was asked to play right wing, but it wasn't a right wing. That was the base formation, but the way that Pep wanted him to play wasn't like that. I think Ibra got caught up in the idea of just being on the outside, not being central, because even though he was right, it's not central. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was still right of center.
Yeah.
But Messi was going to play a 10.
What did Inter play when they won the treble that year when Mourinho was their coach? Because I know they had Milito up top, and then I know that Eto'o played on the wing, and he said to... This kind of contradicts exactly what I said, because I said Eto'o played on the left, but I don't think he did for Pep at Barcelona. Can't remember. I think that's when Eto'o was on the wing.
Who else did he have?
I can't remember that team.
Milito and I can't either.
That's Mourinho. He wins with any.
I remember Javier Zanetti was the center back. That's really
right back.
Right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, I couldn't even tell you. All I know is that
Cambiaso. He was in the Argentine, the bald dude, and he was a defensive player.
Yeah.
No, not Cambiaso. What's his name?
Cannavaro?
No. What?
Cannavaro was the guy who won the World Cup with Italy, right?
Yeah, but he played for... he was in Madrid. I don't know who he came from Italy. I don't think it was Inter, though. I may be wrong. That doesn't sound right, though. Juventus? Yeah, he was at Juventus. Man.
Yeah, I don't. It's just weird to see now. It seems like everyone's going to a 5-back except for Pep and Mourinho.
It's all a variation of the same thing. Pep's 5-back is having Rodri drop in.
That's true.
Mourinho not as much. He's playing a straight 4-back. Yeah, a lot of teams resorting to it. Southampton staying true
Yeah.
to a 4-back.
Brighton kind of play it. So, it's just interesting to see how it changes, and I wonder what the next if it's going to go back to two-striker system, like a out-and-out two-striker system. Because I feel like the reason why I went to an out-and-out striker was because of, like, basically Real Madrid when they had Ronaldo on the left, and then they'd have, like, Di Maria on the right with Benzema.
The wingers are forwards, so they're not mid. Wingers are forwards; they're not midfielders. So I'm saying a 4-3-3. You're saying like 3 strikers up top.
Yeah, but I guess kind of. But the wingers still also get out to the sideline and take people on and cross it in as well. So yeah, I don't. You're right. They are a forward, but it's. I mean, like you've got 2 out and out strikers. Like
I think it's more effective. Like having and hear me out. Like having a 3 in the midfield, a holding mid, and then 2 center mids. You're always going to have the defensive duties that a traditional midfielder coming back would have out of one of the center mids pulling out.
Yeah. Pulling
out wide to defend. Does that make sense? And then you've always got 2 in the middle traditionally how you did as well.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how you see like the wingers teetering like that. And I think it's more effective that way. But the 2-striker system, would you say it's more effective playing with outside mids or playing like with a diamond-esque midfield, having 2 strikers? Like cramming it down somebody's throat or having a tall and a large to cross into or play to?
If you're going to... Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on your personnel. Like, if you don't have the height, like you don't have like a tall person that can knock the ball down or win headers,
right? Then
you need to play that force it down the middle kind of play. But you know what I mean? Because you can't if you had Rashford and Greenwood up top and you're trying to go out wide and cross it into them, they're never going to win a header.
Yeah.
But if you have Cavani and Rashford, Cavani will win a header. You know what I mean? So that's when you can play like with width. But otherwise, you're gonna have to go down the middle and like try and work your way through that. But
dude, it's not Premier League. Well, we're on the topic of formations. Atalanta's formation is wild,
dude. I don't even consider that. I think they just like people say just like vibes, no tactics. Like that is what Atlanta is to me.
If you like, all right. So this is what I find interesting. It's like how Chris Wilder's overlapping center backs is like. That one's you kind of look at it and you're like, "Are you for real?" Like that, and it worked because nobody was used to it. But once you figure out how to plug that hole, dude, no, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done. But with Atalanta, their back line, what they do, like they don't press on defense. They open up, and then the 2 defensive mids come in, and then the whole team like just folds in like that into a 5-back. And then when they press back up, the 2 defensive mids go up. These guys close in, so they never lose the counter opportunity on the outside and the wingers. It's pretty smart. I thought that was really interesting. That like their wingers don't have to come back to defend, and the most likely avenue for a counter is on the outside.
Yeah,
all the time. I just thought that was pretty cool. I like the outside center backs turn into fullbacks, and then the defensive mids turn into center backs like that.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to think about.
Interesting.
I'd if I was a manager now, I'd get 3 athletic center backs. I get 1 center back. Like,
pick a 3-back out of the center backs in the league right now. A straight 3-back
of any team in the league.
Any team. Like your back 3.
But like, I can't pick like one player from each team. It has to be like the same team. Is that what you're talking about? No. So like, I have to pick Spurs or
no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, any center backs.
My.
Don't go for Cloud. Don't go for Van Dijk because he's Van Dijk. Get like who you think would be good.
I mean that, but yeah, okay. I won't go for Van Dijk.
If it is Van Dijk, it's Van Dijk.
First choice, but he would be like the one in the middle that controls it because he's just a general like that, and that's what you need. And I don't think there's really on any other team. I don't know if there's that general. There's Thiago Silva, but I'm picking Van Dijk over Thiago Silva every day of the week.
You want the height in the middle too.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah,
exactly. And then I'd put with how Zuma is playing with Thiago Silva and Thiago Silva being able to talk to him. Because what people don't understand is, like, I've seen on Twitter, like, how did Thiago Silva and Zuma speak to each other? Thiago Silva speaks French.
Yeah.
Pure French as well. Like, it's fucking good. Same with Cavani. That's how he's able to talk to Twanzebe. So you have Van Dijk and Zuma.
Is Twanzebe on loan in France?
No, he's from. Can't remember what country he's from. Like his mother's from in Africa, but they speak French. But like obviously, seeing the way Thiago Silva is able to communicate with Zuma and how well Zuma is playing, I would have him and Van Dijk, and then I would put him on.
Like a general can count on Zuma, basically.
Basically like how Smalling was that one season with Mourinho. That there wasn't a general with Smalling, but Mourinho was on the sideline telling Smalling what to do every single time.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to have the general and Van Dijk, and then you have Zuma, and I think I'd probably put him on the left because I don't know anyone else who can play on the left. And then I'd probably have like who's an athletic center back? Maybe Davinson Sanchez or maybe Will Keane. He's pretty athletic, kind of fast for a center back. The third one would be kind of like up in the air. Eric Bailly, if he wasn't made of glass, that would be perfect for me because he'll kill someone to win you the ball, and he's athletic and fast.
The thing about and you even
but the thing is you need that general to be able to tell those guys where exactly to be and what to do.
That's the thing in. 3-back, you have to have two of the like specialist outside center backs to operate in the way that you do. But the one in the middle not only has to be like sound, solid, but he had like it's all a mental game for him. He's the one that can't rush. He's the one that has to sweep. He's the one that has to see the entire game, the whole game, and not get distracted.
I do think that people
that's a big role to play.
I do think people upplay that for Van Dijk when it. Like, because they say he's so great at it, but there are times where I'm like, he's done very poorly there. But then there's also times where I'm looking, I'm like, I don't think anyone else could have ever done that. Yeah. So, like, right now, not like in the history, but like of soccer, but like Van Dijk is without a doubt the best center back in the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you were to have a back three, that would be like you'd need someone like Van Dijk. Because I literally cannot think of the center back that would
compare with him right now.
Yeah, like not even.
It's definitely the way he holds himself in plays too. Yeah. Like he looks like the best center back in the world. You know what I mean?
And it's not even just his athleticism alone. It's like the way he's able to read the game as well. Like it's so. The only game that I've ever watched and been like he is awful was that Aston Villa match. He looked lost that game, but. I do think that not having a preseason had a major effect on that game.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Dude. But I do think Mourinho, having Eric Dyer, old CDM who is able to kind of read the game, play center back, who can also play a decent ball is good. But I do think defensively, if you go at Eric Dyer, he is going to give you a penalty. Or he's gonna get a red card.
Yeah,
he's not. He's like
it's not calculated.
Yeah, he just yeah. He's literally just like an under like. Well, he was very overhyped a while ago, and then he went to crap. But like he's basically just Maguire at center back. He's better. He's better at playing the ball.
Not stronger, but more athletic than Maguire.
Yeah,
I mean because. I'm thinking back to when Dyer played holding mid. Dude was nimble in the midfield. Like he wasn't bad under Poach playing defensive mid.
Yeah.
And when he came onto this, and I'm not sitting here just defending the guy just cause, but like, I don't think he's as bad as you're making him out to be.
Well, the only reason I say that is because every time I've watched him play, he makes some tackles that I'm like, why? And this happens with everyone, but. There are some times where he'll make a tackle, like 2-footed, and I can't remember who it was against, but it was a couple years ago. He went in 2 studs up he was shepherding the guy who had the ball into his own player so that they were clearly going to get the ball, and he still dove in with 2 feet to try and get the ball and got a red card. And it's just things like that where I'm like, he is not good. And if you watch him, every time he jumps up for the ball, he's awful at judging it. I don't know why.
Always going behind him.
Always behind him. And then when he does it, This is why Newcastle ended up drawing with Tottenham, is because when he jumped up, he puts his arms up too.
Oh, yeah.
So then the ball came and hit him in the arm, and then that's a penalty.
Yeah.
But he does